Guys, so for today's video we are actually going to do a declutter. This is long overdue. This is my drawer where I have powders, foundation, and concealers. So yeah, I can't fit much in that drawer anymore, so it's time to declutter. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the powders. I don't have too many. Let's get to it. All right, so the first one is this Fenty Beauty. I've actually only used this a couple of times and I really do enjoy it. This is fairly new. I wanna say it's no more than 6 months old, so I am going to keep this. The Fenty Beauty, this is in the shade Butter. This one is new. I recently did a full face of Fenty Beauty, so I'm definitely keeping this and I'm really definitely enjoying it. This next one is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. I believe this is just like your regular powder. This is like 2 years old. I haven't used this one too many times, but I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one. I honestly don't even remember the last time I touched it. All right, this next one is the CoverGirl True Blend Minerals, and this is in the shade Light Pale. You know, for it being light, it actually is pretty dark, and if I use this, it has to be when I have a good tan going on. So yeah, I think I'm going to actually keep this. I really do enjoy it, just in case I ever get dark enough now that we're actually all going outside a little bit more, I might be able to use this. So I think I'm going to keep this one. All right, this next one is the Air Spun. Who remembers these? Oh my gosh, the smell of this, oh, it reminds me of actually my mother. Back in the day, I want to say the smell that this has was a very popular smell that they used to put in powders, and this always reminds me of my mother. But as you can see, it's pretty much full, and man, I haven't used this really long time. It was when I first got into makeup and I didn't know any better, so I picked this up. So I think I'm going to finally let go of this. All right, the next one is by Jeffree Star Cosmetics. This is in the color Beige. This is actually a really good powder. I really enjoy it. It does have a slight sweet smell to it. You can tell that I've definitely used this. So I think I'm going to keep this. I just don't feature it on my channel because yeah, I don't support the brand anymore, but I am going to use up what I do have left over of his brand. So I'm going to keep this. All right, the next one is the Huda Beauty, and this is in the shade Pound Cake. I recently reviewed this on my channel. This is actually a newly launched mini version of her setting or baking powder. I have been wanting to try it, but I could never commit to the full size because yeah, there's just no way with all the makeup that I have that I was going to get through that whole thing. So I was really stoked when she came out with the mini version and I purchased it, and I'm actually really enjoying this. I have used this quite a couple of times and I love the way my makeup is looking every single time. The next one is the Laura Mercier, and this one, I actually purchased it, I want to say last spring during the Sephora VIB sale. My sister was currently working at the store, so I asked her if she can pick this up for me because I had been wanting to try it. So many beauty YouTubers talked about it, so of course, you know, they made me do it. And I mean, it's a good powder. I got it in translucent, but it's not like super amazing the way that other people make it seem. I definitely prefer this all over my face rather than under my eyes, which is where most people use it. But I think I'm going to keep this. I have definitely been using it and I have been enjoying it as an all over the face setting powder. All right, this next one is a Ciate London, and this is Everyday Vacay. It's a coconut setting powder. It smells like coconuts. It smells really good. If you are not a coconut person, you will not like this. I actually got this in a BoxyCharm, and I have definitely used it a couple of times, as you can see. It's an okay powder, but I definitely feel like you get flashback with this. But I mean, I do enjoy it, so I think I'm going to keep this. All right, this next one's a L'Oreal True Match powder. This is in the shade W6, and this my fiance actually purchased for me when I had him pick up a full face of drugstore makeup from Target, and this is what he picked up as my setting powder. I mean, it's an okay powder, but I literally only dipped into it for that one video, and that was that. So I'm going to get rid of this. All right, the next one is the Cover FX, and I got this in the shade Translucent Light. This I actually ended up picking up from the 21 Days of Beauty sales at Ulta, and I actually do really enjoy this powder. I think it is a great powder. As you can see, I have definitely used up a good amount of it, so I'm going to keep this. I enjoy it. All right, the second to last is this Physicians Formula Mineral Wear, and I got this in the shade Creamy Natural. This is actually a really good powder. Is it amazing? No, I definitely have other ones in my collection now that I enjoy more. So I definitely have not been reaching for this as much as I used to. As you can tell, I've definitely used up quite a bit of it, but I think it's time to get rid of it. So I'm going to let go of this one. All right, last but not least is my Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Powder. I love this. This is my absolute favorite. As of now, the Charlotte Tilbury has not replaced it. As you can see, I definitely really do enjoy it because half of the thing is gone. So I cannot get rid of this. I don't think I can, not yet. So I think I'm going to keep this. All right, so out of all of those, I'm getting rid of 4 powders. Let's move on to the next category. All right, guys, the next thing is concealers. And I keep my concealers in this little thing in my drawer. As you can see, I have quite a bit of concealers. So let's get started. All right, so this is the Fenty Beauty Bright Fix. It's an eye brightener, but honestly, it's a light coverage concealer. I got it in the shade Deep Butter 07. I'm actually really enjoying this. I have used it 3 or 4 times, and every single time I love the natural finish it leaves, so I'm going to keep this. All right, next one is the Magic Away Concealer by Charlotte Tilbury. This is in the shade 5. I recently did a full face of Charlotte Tilbury. If you haven't checked that out, you need to go check it out. And I do enjoy the formula of this concealer. I just hate the applicator. I mean, this is like Germ City right here. I would love it if Charlotte Tilbury would just come up with a different component for her concealer. So I'm keeping this. The next 2 are the ColourPop No Filter Concealers, and these are in the shades Light 12 and Medium 22. I have not used these in quite some time, but as you can see, I definitely give them some love. These are probably 2 years old, so I think it's time to let go of these. They are a little bit drying in my under eyes, and yeah, I mean they're beautiful and I enjoyed them, but they definitely are on the matte side more than anything, so getting rid of these. All right, the next 2 are the Pretty Fresh ColourPop concealers, and these are in the shade Medium 90W and Light 45W. Yeah. These are great. They're super hydrating. Every time I use these on my under eyes, I absolutely love it. I have a dark and a light shade. This one's too light, and this one is just a tiny bit too dark, so I just mixed the 2. I actually really enjoy these, so I'm going to keep these. The next 2 are the Juvia's Place concealers, and I actually have 2 because one is too light and one is too dark. The reason that happens is because I picked the wrong shade the first time around and it was too light, so yeah. All right, and these are in the shade 20 and 18. I really enjoy these. These are definitely full coverage concealer and they aren't too drying. They're pretty hydrating and I have really been enjoying these. I will be keeping these. The next ones are my Kylie Jenner concealers, and these are in the shade Stone and Maple. Same scenario, I bought one, it was too light. So then I went and bought one that was a little bit darker. I don't know if you can tell, I have definitely used these quite a bit. These are actually my absolute favorite concealers right now. And I don't know what's going on with Kylie Cosmetics. I really hope that they get whatever is going on settled, because I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of these or when I have to throw them away because they are too expired, but I really enjoy this formula. I haven't picked up any new ones to replace because I want to get rid of these before that happens, you know, like I already have a ton of products, so I don't need to add more to it just because I'm hoarding makeup. So I'm definitely going to keep these because they're my absolute favorite. They're like my ride or die ones. So these are staying. All right, the next ones are the CoverGirl True Blend concealers, and I have 3 different shades because I purchased some that are way too light. I have L600, L900, and L200. These are all way too light for me. They're a good concealer, but I literally do not pick these up at all. I can't even remember the last time I used these. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these. I just, yeah, I don't use them. All right, the next one is the Fenty Match Stick, and this is in the shade Vanilla. This is brand new. This is from the Full Face of Fenty, and I thought it was going to be too light, but it's actually a pretty good shade. And I truly enjoyed it when I used it in my Full Face of Fenty Beauty. So I think I'm going to keep this and keep trying it out and see if I really enjoy it. It's really creamy, and I had no problems last time I used it, so I'm going to keep this for sure. All right, the next one is the Tarte Shape Tape in 22N. This is the original Tarte Shape Tape. You guys know how I feel about this. You guys know that I hate it because it literally leaves my under eyes so dry. I think it's time to let it go. I had not thrown it away because I hate being wasteful, but I still probably have more than half of this container. It's still pretty full, and it's time to let it go, you know? It's just time. So it's going. The next 2 are these Wet n Wild concealers, and these are in the shades Light Neutral and Light Honey. These are okay. They're not super revolutionary. Wet n Wild, I feel like, is hit or miss with certain products. For me, this concealer, it was when I first started, you know, getting into makeup, and I didn't want to spend too much money on high-end products. So I purchased these, and this is what I used for quite some time. So I definitely gave them some love, but I think it's time to get rid of them. So they're going. All right, the next one is the NARS Creamy Concealer. I think that's what it's called. And this is a little mini version of it. I did a video where I tried mini versions of high-end products, and this was one of them. This is in the shade Custard. And I actually really do enjoy this concealer. I've used it a couple of times, but I need to use it more. And every single time I've used it, I feel like my under eyes look absolutely beautiful. So I'm definitely keeping this. It's also fairly new, so yeah. All right, this is the Morphe concealer in shade White, and this I keep around for when I want to do very vibrant looks. I don't use this under my eyes, of course, so I think I'm going to keep this. It works great every time I've used it to cut my crease because I'm using a shade that I really want to pop out. It works great, so I'm keeping this. All right, last but not least, the Tarte Shape Tape in the Ultra Creamy formula. I recently tested this out and I did not like it. So yeah, this is in the shade 35. And my friend is coming over tomorrow, and I'm gonna put this in the pile of makeup that I'm getting rid of. I'm going to see if she wants some of this stuff. I'll see if she wants this one. She's a similar tone to my skin, so I think she might enjoy this. So this is going. And this is just a little color corrector by Maybelline. I actually do use this here and there, so I'm going to keep this. It's a good shade for my discoloration. All right, so I am getting rid of 7 products, 7 concealers, which is a good amount of concealers to get rid of. So I'm super proud about that. Okay, let's move on to foundations, and that should be I totally forgot to add the Jaclyn Prep and Set Face Palette to the setting powders. This is absolutely brand new, and after a second, third, and fourth try, I've actually really been enjoying this, so I am definitely going to be keeping this. All right, guys, so as you can see, I have a lot of foundations. It is definitely time to declutter some of these. Okay, so let's start here. This is the NARS Skin Tint. This is brand new, and I featured it in a recent video. This is in the shade Mykonos, and it's actually a really good skin tint. I am really enjoying this, so I will be keeping this, and yeah. All right, the next one we have here is the Airbrush Flawless Foundation by Charlotte Tilbury. This is in the shade 5.5. This is a beautiful foundation. I have only unfortunately used this once, but my birthday is coming up, so I'll probably be using this for that night since I will be going to dinner with my honey. And yeah, this is a great foundation. It's definitely full coverage, and I will be keeping this. All right, the next one is the Dream Radiant Liquid Foundation by Maybelline. This is in the shade Sandy Beige, and I actually bought this foundation because I wanted to do a video for a dupe for the Fenty Pro Filtr Hydrating Foundation, and this is actually a dupe. For sure. I did a half face of the Fenty and half of the other face with this foundation, and you could not tell a difference, guys. You could not tell a difference. So this is definitely a good foundation, and I do enjoy it here and there, so I'm going to keep this. All right, guys, this is the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Hydrating Foundation by ColourPop Cosmetics, and this is in the shade Medium 105N. This is actually too dark for me. Anytime I can wear this, I have to mix it with something else. Yeah, that's kind of annoying, and I must not have loved it enough to go pick up a second bottle that I can mix this with. So I think it's time to let go of this. All right, the next one is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filtr Hydrating Foundation. This is in the shade 260. I featured this in my full face of Fenty Beauty, and you guys already know that this is one of my favorites high-end foundations. So I will be keeping this. I mean, you can tell I've definitely given it some love. It's probably my #1 right now. No, just kidding. It's my #2. All right, the next two are these Makeup Revolution. Yeah, Makeup Revolution. I never know what to call them. These are the Conceal and Define Foundation. I have it in the color F3 and F8. Don't ask me why I bought F3. This is way too light for me. Like, I cannot use this at all. So I bought F8. Sometimes I mix the two. Usually I can only use this one. My color is F8. These are a matte finish, and I went through a phase where I was really enjoying matte foundation, but I'm over that phase. I will be 34 in June, and just the thought of a very matte drying finish just makes me cringe right now. So these will be going. All right, the next one is this Wet n Wild Stick Foundation. I actually really do enjoy this. It is a very good matte foundation. This is actually the first matte foundation that I had ever purchased, and this is in the shade Buff Beige. I have definitely enjoyed it. I think it's a good foundation. I can't compare it to other stick foundations, but for it being my first one, I really truly do enjoy it, and it's not super drying. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. All right, the next ones are the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Tinted Moisturizers, and these are in the shade 10N and medium 11N. I really enjoy these tinted moisturizers. They are pretty old, but I feel like I could probably get away with using them a little bit longer. I truly enjoy these. Gosh, can you hear my child? My toddler has been going through it, guys. I'm sorry. I will be keeping these. They are great, and I really do enjoy them. All right, the next one is this Revlon BB cream. When I first purchased this, I actually really did enjoy it, but then for some reason one time, it might have been the primer I used underneath it, but it just looked horrible on my skin. And it's actually a little too dewy for me, so I think I'm going to get rid of this. This is in the shade, I don't even know what shade this is. They literally only had like 3 or 4 shades in this. Yeah, that sucks. But yeah, I'm going to get rid of this. All right, the next one is this Becca Skin Love Weightless Blur Foundation. This is in the shade Buff. Usually buff beige or like any foundations that have the word buff in it work pretty well on me, but this was very yellow. Like this is not even close to my skin tone. Anytime I would use this, I would mix it with something else, but since Becca is going out of business, I honestly don't see a reason for me to keep this. So unfortunately, this is going bye-bye. All right, the next one is the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. This is another one of a favorites of mine. Even though it's a CC cream, I honestly feel like this could qualify, at least for my skin type, as a full coverage foundation for me. This is in the shade Light. It is literally the perfect shade for me. As you could tell, I have definitely given it some love. This is like in my top 5. I really do enjoy this IT Cosmetics CC cream, and I'm not getting rid of this. I love it. All right, the next one is the Healthy Foundation by Physicians Formula. So again, I bought this one, it was too light, so then I bought one that was a tiny bit darker so that I can make up for it. These are in LN4 and MN4. These are great foundations. The finish is definitely more on the natural side. I'm debating whether I want to get rid of these or not. You know what? I haven't picked these up in a while, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of them. All right, the next ones are the Maybelline Fit Me foundations in the matte poreless formula. Like I said, there was a point in time where I was going through the whole matte foundation phase. Even though these are pretty matte, I definitely don't feel like they are super drying, so I think I am going to keep these. I have it in the shade 125 and 220. The 125 was too light, and the 220 is actually my perfect color match. When I'm a little bit lighter, I definitely mix the two, but these work pretty well for me together normally, or 220 by itself, but I'm going to keep these. I've just really enjoyed them. I think they're a really good foundation. All right, the next one is this L'Oreal True Match Lumi Healthy Luminous Foundation. So this I only have because my fiance did a full face of drugstore makeup from Target for me, and this is a very off color for me. This is in nude beige, W3. Yeah, this, I don't even remember how I feel about it, but I don't think I enjoyed it too much because I haven't touched it since the video. So this is going. All right, the next one is the Clinique Even Better Glow, and this is in the shade WN38. This is my #1 foundation. I absolutely love this foundation, which sucks because Clinique is not a cruelty-free brand, but this foundation is, gosh, the finish is just beautiful, and I can wear it all year round. This feels like it's probably maybe a third away from being done. So I definitely want to say it's like halfway through, and I am close to being done with this because I just love it so much. It literally leaves such an amazing finish. So I'm keeping this. All right, guys, we're almost done. Okay, so the next are the Wet n Wild foundations, and I have 4 of them. These are the matte finish, and this one is the dewy finish. I have it in the shades Buff Bisque, Classic Beige, Cream Beige, and Soft Beige. I know. Couldn't decide which color I was, and depending on what time of the year, that's which ones I use. I mix and match. Yeah, I went through that whole matte finish, and I haven't used these in quite some time. I haven't picked them up, so I'm going to get rid of the matte ones. And this one is actually a good shade for me, and it's the dewy formula, so I think I'm going to keep this and see if I will use it. If I don't reach for it, it might end up also being tossed away, so I think I'm going to keep this for now. All right, these two are the e.l.f. Cosmetics Satin Finish Foundations. Even though these say they're satin finish, I don't know how true that is because they definitely set down as a matte for me personally and my skin type, and they feel very drying and they look very makeup-y, at least for me, for my skin type. I got in the shade Vanilla and Natural. The shade Vanilla is way too light for me, and the Natural just kind of mixes well with this one, so it kind of makes it work with these two together. But like I said, too drying, and they really do look very makeup-y on my skin, so I am getting rid of these. All right, and last but not least is the Fenty Beauty Skin Ease Drop. This is in the shade number 10. I really do enjoy this. I have used it a couple of times, like 3 or 4, and every single time I have really enjoyed the finish of this. It is a great product. I don't know if I would call it a skin tint. I honestly feel like it's more of a lightweight foundation, but still, I've been enjoying it, and I actually lied. I have 2 more that I have to, yeah. So I'm keeping this. All right, this is the Maybelline Fit Me Tinted Moisturizer. This is a brand new launch from Maybelline, and I actually truly really enjoy this product. I think it is a great product. I have used it, I want to say 3 or 4 times, and every single time I love how it looks on my skin. It's a very natural finish. It's very watery, but yeah, I have really been enjoying it, so I will be keeping this. Okay, now really last but not least is the Makeup Forever Water Tone Skin Tint, and you can see how watery this is, and you can definitely see that I have used it because I have really been loving this. A lot of people have not, but I personally have. It literally feels like water when you put it on your skin and when you blend it. I will have to do a follow-up video on how I apply this because it took me, like, my first impressions was really good, but then after that I was applying it the same way and it was just not working out, and I was confused, and I was like, okay, I need to figure this out because I really enjoy this product and I need to see what is the best way for me to apply it. So I've been playing around with it and I figured out the perfect way to apply this, and every single time I put this on, I love how my skin looks. It looks beautiful. This is definitely a favorite for me right now. It's a little pricey for what it is, but it's a really good tinted moisturizer in my opinion. See, you could tell that I've definitely been loving it. And that is it. I am getting rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 foundations. Oh my gosh, that is a lot of products. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this small little declutter. I definitely will be going through my other products in my makeup collection, but I would love it if you gave this video a big ol' thumbs up, and if you haven't done so already, I would love it if you joined my small YouTube family by clicking that subscribe button down below. I would love to have you. I am on the mission of reaching 1,000 subscribers, and I would love it if you can help me reach that goal. I recently hit 300. I would love it if I reached 500 soon, and then shortly after that, maybe 1,000. The goal is 1,000 before the end of 2021. So I would definitely really appreciate it if you subscribe. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. Like I said, I hope you enjoyed this small little declutter, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.